AI podcasting, huh? You guys wanted a deep dive, and let me tell you, this NotebookLM thing from Google, it's got deep dive written all over it.
Seriously, the way they're talking about it, article to finished podcast episode in 15 minutes, that's practically instant gratification.
The kicker is, it's not some pie-in-the-sky idea. This NotebookLM is out there right now. Preview mode, at least.
Yeah, and people are already putting it through its paces. The reactions are pretty wild. Like, is this real life kind of stuff?
We actually found this AI-generated podcast demo, and we're going to play it for you a bit later, see if you think it lives up to the hype. But first, let's unpack this whole NotebookLM thing a bit.
Well, from what I gather in the article, the big selling point is the simplicity.
Simplicity. How simple are we talking?
5 basic steps. That's it. You find your article.
Okay, find an article. Got it.
Then you create one of these NotebookLM notebooks.
Like a digital notebook, I'm assuming.
Exactly. And you upload your article into it. Then, get this, you just hit generate. That's step 4, by the way.
Hold on, generate. That's it.
That's it. 5 minutes later, boom, you've got yourself a podcast.
Okay, that sounds almost too good to be true. So one of the steps is literally just waiting for 5 minutes.
That's how easy they're trying to make this. It's like they're saying, look, even your grandma could make a podcast with this thing.
And it gets even better. The article mentions using Headliner, that free tool to add some visuals, make it pop on YouTube, TikTok, all that.
They're thinking about the whole package, making it share-worthy. Smart move, right?
It almost feels like they're trying to replace us, Like, is this the end of human podcast hosts?
Well, hold your horses. The author of this article, they had the same initial reaction. Total shock. They even said, I am shocked. Like, am I tripping? Or is this actually extremely interesting?
I get it. It's a lot to process. But talk is cheap, right? We got to hear this AI in action, ready to dive into this demo and see if it lives up to the hype.
Hit me with it. Let's see what this AI can do. All right, everyone, get ready, because today we are diving into some pretty wild stuff, even for us. We're talking AI, but not just any AI. AI that's taking on Wall Street.
Taking it on and winning, potentially.
Yeah, you're not kidding. This article I came across, it claims that someone used an AI to actually build a trading strategy that's making some serious waves.
It's more than just the success that has everyone buzzing. It's how they did it. Okay, so that was something. What did you think? Could you actually tell it was AI?
I mean, it wasn't exactly Morgan Freeman, was it? But yeah, there were definitely some moments.
I feel like the beginning was a little rough, like that robotic voice we were talking about.
A little bit. But it's weird, right? Because as it went on, it felt like it almost warmed up, found its groove. Like maybe it's self-aware enough to realize it shouldn't sound like a robot.
That's kind of freaky, to be honest. But then, remember how the article mentioned it can kind of ramble sometimes?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that happened at all?
Totally. Around the 2-minute mark when it went off on that tangent about topic. Not that it was completely off topic, but you could tell the AI hadn't quite mastered the art of staying laser focused. Like a human would have reined it in. But the AI, it was still figuring things out as it went.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely not perfect, but call me out.
Yeah.
This is like a sneak peek, a preview. For a preview tool, I think it's seriously impressive. And remember what the article said about it being empowering. I'm starting to see why. Imagine being a creator before this thing existed. Talk about a game changer.
Oh, absolutely. Think about all the people out there with amazing ideas, but they never even considered podcasting because of all the tech stuff, right? Editing, recording, all that. This tool just blows all that out of the water. Poof, gone.
It'd be like going from writing a book by hand to suddenly having, like, a typewriter. Or no, wait, maybe a better analogy would be going from a typewriter to a supercomputer that writes the whole podcast for you.
That's a way better analogy. Mm-hmm. And remember how the article mentioned it has all these other uses too? This isn't just about pumping out podcasts. It can summarize documents, answer your questions, basically be your study buddy.
Whoa, yeah. You could feed it like a super dense research paper and it could spit out a podcast explaining all the key findings in plain English. That's wild.
Right. Think of the possibilities for students, researchers, anyone who has to read through tons of information. Imagine walking into a meeting, having listened to a 5-minute podcast, summarizing a 50-page report. You'd be unstoppable.
Okay, now my mind's going a mile a minute. This is crazy. But let's zoom out for a second. If this is what the preview version can do, what happens when they actually release this thing to the world? What happens next year or even next month?
That's the million-dollar question, right? Imagine companies using this for, internal training, or turning their blog posts into podcasts, maybe even personalized audio messages for clients. Possibilities are endless.
And think about the accessibility. Anyone with a smartphone and internet could be a podcaster. No fancy microphones, no editing software, nothing.
Exactly. It's that whole democratization of content creation thing we've seen with other AI tools. Just like anyone can be a photographer now, with the right app, anyone can be a podcaster.
I see what you're saying. But I can't help but wonder, what about the human element? Can AI really capture that magic of storytelling, that connection between a host and a listener? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I can put words in order, but can it make you feel something?
The emotional connection, right? That's the big question mark.
Exactly. Can an AI make you laugh? Or cry? Or call your best friend at 2 a.m. to talk about what you just heard? I'm not so sure.
And that's where things get really interesting. Because what if, instead of trying to replace human hosts entirely,
AI became like the ultimate sidekick?
Right. Imagine handing off all the tedious stuff, the editing, the mixing, even like brainstorming ideas to AI.
So the human hosts can just focus on being creative and connecting with the audience.
Exactly. That's what we're good at, right? Humans. Connecting, engaging, telling stories.
It'd be like having a whole team of audio ninjas working behind the scenes, making sure your podcast sounds amazing while you focus on the heart and soul of the show.
Now you're getting it.
Yeah.
And here's another thought. What if AI could analyze listener data and be like, hey, your audience loved that story about your cat. Tell more cat stories.
Okay, now that's just freaky, like AI mind readers. But also kind of cool. I don't know, this is a lot. But let's back up for a second. This whole NotebookLM thing, it's still under wraps, right? Like, it's not available to just anyone yet.
Right. As far as the article knows, it's still in preview mode, so it's out there, but it's not widely available.
So we're catching this wave right at its crest. Who knows what's next? This whole thing could just fizzle out, or it could be the start of something huge. A whole new world of audio. It's exciting and terrifying at the same time.
That's what we do here at the Deep Dive, right?
Yeah.
We take a topic, we go deep, and we hopefully leave you with more questions than answers.
Exactly. The goal is to spark your curiosity, get those brain synapses firing. We've explored the possibilities, talked about the limitations.
And now it's your turn to keep the conversation going.
Exactly. Because at the end of the day, technology is just a tool, right? What really matters is what we choose to do with it. The stories we tell, the connections we make. That's the real magic.
And on that note,
we'll leave you with this.
Yeah.
If AI can generate a podcast in minutes, what does that mean for your creativity?
What stories will you share with the world?
Until next time.